the IS-7, the pinnacle of the Soviet heavies. In the summer of 1943, new German heavy tanks began appearing on the Eastern Front, equipped with long 88mm guns capable of easily destroying Soviet heavy tanks of the time. In response, Soviet authorities issued a requirement for a new 55-ton heavy tank that could withstand anything the Germans could throw at it. This led to the development of Object 252/253, known as the IS-6, and the Kirovets-1, which would eventually evolve into the famous IS-3. The IS-6 performed poorly in many aspects, leading to the project's cancellation. New designs emerged: Object 257, Object 258, and Object 259, each differing mainly in engine and transmission configurations but all intended to utilize the 122mm BL-13 gun. By early 1945, all three prototypes were ready. However, after testing the mouse, it became clear that their armor was inadequate and the 122mm gun was ineffective against German super heavy tanks. A new tank was needed, armor need to stand up 12.8 cm cannon and more powerful armament. A converted naval weapon, the 130mm S-26 was ready for the task. However, the gun was too large for the Object 257 chassis, necessitating an entirely new design. This resulted in Object 260, later designated as the IS-7. The IS-7 was engineered to withstand direct hits from the 12.8 cm gun. Its hull featured 150mm of armor angled at approximately 65 degrees, incorporating the pike nose design seen on the IS-3. The side armor is as impressive, offering 180 to 240mm of effective protection. The turret was equally formidable, boasting a 350mm mantlet and 240 to 250mm of rounded, sloped armor. Tests confirmed that the armor could resist fire from both German weapons and the IS-7's own armament. The new 130mm gun, converted from a naval cannon, S-26, later designated as the S-70, featured an assisted loading system and could fire 6 to 8 rounds per minute. For anti-infantry, the tank was equipped with two 14.5mm heavy machine guns, one coaxial, one roof-mounted, and 4 to 6 7.62mm SG-43 machine guns placed around the hull and turret. Weighing 68 tons, the IS-7 was powered by a new 1,050 horsepower M50T naval diesel engine, enabling it to reach speeds of 60 km per hour on roads and 32 km per hour off-road, a remarkable feat for a tank of its size. Despite its impressive performance, the IS-7 was not without flaws. During trials, one prototype caught fire and was completely destroyed. However, overall test results were promising. The IS-7 represented the pinnacle of heavy tank design, heavily armed, heavily armored, medium mobility, and the firepower of a tank destroyer. At the time, no Western tank could rival it. It outclassed contemporary heavy tank projects such as the M103, the AMX-50, and the Conqueror. Only in the 1970s did new generations of main battle tanks emerge that could potentially challenge the IS-7. Unfortunately, Soviet military doctrine shifted away from tanks exceeding 50 tons, as aircraft and nuclear weapons had become the dominant strategic elements. The IS-7 project ultimately hit a dead end. Only one IS-7, 1947 model, was sent to the Kubinka Tank Museum, while the remaining prototypes were scrapped.